to Airstream Wheeler and our Salvage Trailer series. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Interested in seeing how we got to this point? We've made a playlist for you on our YouTube homepage.
We paid $25,500 for a flooded salvaged Airstream.
Got a few bags of wet trash.
Kind of lemons to lemonade. Awesome. Wins, wins, wins.
It's cold. That's all. It's cold.
Last week we left off with me flying out to rescue Dreamboat.
Want to know more about Dreamboat, our 20-foot 1977 Airstream Argosy Motorhome? Well, we have an entire playlist about that project.
I'm here to pick up a vehicle out of spot 109. I thought they'd give me the smallest thing possible on the manager special. Check this out. Christmas Red Ram 2500. Yeah, Christmas Red Ram 2500.
In the early morning hours, I have just tried to start Dreamboat in North Carolina and trying to help his new owner. And the first thing I found is that the gas line may have been chewed while he's been sitting. Gonna add a little oil, and I'm hoping that's all we've got to do after I fix this fuel line, and we should be underway.
It has begun. Last night I flew into Charlotte, picked up a rental vehicle, and chose the manager special or whatever it was, the cheapest option. Turned out to be a Christmas Red Ram 2500, so that was fun. But to the point, right now I am following Dreamboat. We have been asked to help move him, relocate him to Texas, and so I flew into North Carolina, and I'm gonna be in the chase vehicle back as far as the Charlotte airport. We have to go back by. And so it made sense if we needed anything to start off that we'd have a vehicle to be able to run around and get parts. So I am on my way now to Napa for a couple things, and we'll see. Hopefully things will be okay. So right off the bat, first things first, there was an obvious fuel leak.
Got a bad section of fuel in here. It looked like it had some bite marks or something. It was leaking from right where my thumb is. But overall, it doesn't look great, so I'm replacing the whole section. If I cut this piece right about here, we'll be all set with a remade piece that still has the fuel filter in it.
From the fuel line coming up to the top of the motor going to the carburetor, there's a fuel filter up there, and then it makes a kind of a 180 bend. And in that 180 bend, there was obvious signs that rodents may have chewed it. Unfortunately, it's been sitting for months.
Next thing is I had some sparking right here with a plug wire sitting on the manifold. I'm glad I caught this now because it's right below the gas leak that we fixed. Changing out a spark plug wire here. We've got a situation where I think I had an old brittle zip tie that let go and let this get too close to the motor.
All right, spark plug wires sorted, fuel leak sorted, adding a little bit of oil, and I think we're ready to take a little bit of drive, see how we do. Watching for anything else that needs some maintenance. Sitting still is just not the best thing for Dreamboat, but we gotta move in now. Progress. I think we're making progress. Just stopped for food on our third trip back to Napa. I've really got to get ahead of this exhaust leak problem it seems to have, and I think I can just buy a flange there. I'm really hoping I can get the 3 nuts off. There's studs. If I break the studs off and have to drill the studs out, that'll be a bit of a nightmare, but here's to hoping I can get them off.
Gasket is right in here. With the flange, this will tighten down square.
All right, we are underway, getting on the highway.
For about 30 In 2 miles, continue straight.
I miss driving around with Dreamboat. Stopped at Napa and Tractor Supply today, and both places we had people, well, what is that? What year is that? Ooh, that's an Airstream. One guy, I just saw that driving by, I had to stop. He literally stops traffic, and I miss that. That's fun. Sometimes I wish we still had them. Quick recap. Start with systems that are good. Brakes are doing good. You know, you sat for months, so I worried a little bit we might have like a stuck brake. No issues there. Brakes are good to go. Actually started right up, so no worries there. I just put a little splash of gas in the carburetor and he started right up. But that starts where the problems began. The old gas line seems to have failed. It had both some weather cracking and what looked like a bite from a rodent that really finished it off and put a hole in it. Kind of glad it was actually leaking, so I really saw the problem and fixed the gas line. Moving on after that, it became clear as I was looking that I had a spark plug wire that was touching the exhaust manifold. That's a bad combination. You get sparking, rubber melting, none of it's good. Quick fix though, just new spark plug wires. Some zip ties, keep them, and that's how they were to start with. There were zip ties on them to keep them lined up and away from the exhaust manifolds. One of them must have cracked and failed, and that's how the wire was touching, but it's all fixed now. Next thing, concerning exhaust leak, and at first I thought maybe I could just tighten the flange. It's the manifold to the first downpipe in the exhaust system, and I thought that maybe I could just tighten that flange and it would be okay. Ultimately, I could not get it to stop. Basically what they call the exhaust gasket, it's like a little crushable donut that fits in the joint between the two pipes, had failed and it was coming apart. So ultimately it's a $3.50 part, so there's no reason to not replace it if you can carefully get the nuts off, which is what I did, and it all worked out fine.
What do you see over there?
Nothing bad as far as I can tell. I'm gonna watch you turn it on just to hear it again. So as soon as we fired him back up, it was clear he didn't have an exhaust leak. I think we did good. We're now on the road and doing a cool 60 miles an hour. Rolling into the airport. Rented the truck for 2 days just to have a chase vehicle in the event we had to make repairs. Now I'm returning the truck back to the airport less than 24 hours later because we're doing okay. Hopefully we've made all the repairs we need to make and it'll just be clear sailing for the rest of the time. You'll find out as soon as I do. Truck is back. Just worry about crawling around under Dreamboat in the rain. We're not the only ones. That's a Cruise America RV.
And now with the rental car returned, we're relying on Dreamboat to get us from North Carolina all the way to Texas.
Don't want to jinx it, the progress is going pretty well. Into Georgia now. Another quick fill. We run about 100, 120, 130 miles between fill-ups. And fill carefully. Definitely just saw some guy taking a picture.
Good morning. Spent the night in Alabama. Ooh, oil's still there. Good sign, oil's still there. Dreamboat ran pretty good yesterday. Maybe we're a hair over halfway to the destination. Happy with how things are going. Head to the gas station now and keep going again. Making good time, making good progress.
think we're gonna get to Texas by evening if, fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong.
All right, I'm back in Texas now after a quick 2.5-day trip to go and help Dreamboat's owner move him to Texas. Very successful. After a couple initial repairs, we had no other issues on the road, so that was pretty awesome. I wish I could do more to help, but I've got to turn my attention now to the Safari, our 2006 Airstream, and get it ready to sell.
Well, I'm more than a little envious that you got to ride around the country in Dreamboat, road tripping and enjoying yourself. You even got to sleep in him, which was something we've never actually been able to do.
Yeah, our bed design actually works pretty well. I'm sorry that you didn't get to drive him. I'm feeling really behind in every aspect of our lives right now.
I agree. I think we have a lot going on. The Tundra needs some maintenance, and the 2006 needs repairs and to be put up for sale. And we still need to maintain the Tommy Bahama and set it up for our actual needs in our life.
I think it's going to be hard to tell the story of both trailers simultaneously.
I agree. And we've actually had some viewers reach out to us and ask us about some of the scope of work.
In the Tommy.
In the Tommy.
So that below the floor, behind the walls, all that needs to get done, but we can't do that yet. We A, need to get the Safari up for sale, and B, we still don't have ownership of this trailer,
Right.
and I'm reluctant to spend that amount of time to get really deep when I don't own it yet.
Correct. We started that titling paperwork, but it'll be weeks
Before we get it back.
before we get it back, and then we have to buy it. So that title is going to come in my dad's name, and then we need to buy it from him.
And then it gets reissued in our
And
names. It's a
reissued.
long process.
So it's going to be weeks and weeks, probably closer to several months before this is all sorted out.
Right. In addition to all the truck and trailer work that we have to do, we also need a campground, possibly in the northeast corner of San Antonio. So if any of you know of any hidden gems, please reach out, let us know. Yep.
We really actually value every comment, all the guidance, and all the support.
We love your comments or questions. I love the advice coming in, and I love it when you ask for advice.
All right, 2006 is out of propane, so we're going to rectify that situation.
Got one.
The baby propane.
Little baby propane.
Is this one empty too? They're both empty?
The big is empty. The small one, because the regulator's green, still has pressure and we haven't lost it.
Okay, so that bodes well for us not actually having a leak. It's just that maybe we were so tired that we just...
We could have left the heat on.
That's possible. I don't think we did because our pipes burst.
If it was cold, the heat would have run till it was gone. Then maybe the pipes burst.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't know. We did something. Hey, is that the new faucet?
It is. It should be pretty easy to reinstall since it's exactly the same one, and it worked fine for us until we let it freeze.
Let's not do that again.
No. Okay, we're in the 2006, and I know you're not feeling particularly well today, so I think it makes sense to make ourselves a to-do list and a parts list and to come back on another day. But before we go, I have figured something out with the frozen shower mixing valve. I don't think it actually froze. I think I put it back together slightly wrong, and I think it's going to be okay.
This trailer has served us so well. I'm sort of nostalgic and, I don't know, not sad, but it still feels very much like home.
I agree. I don't think we'd be planning to sell it if we hadn't gotten surprised with the Tommy Bahama.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be interested in knowing what people think we can get for this rig. It has 400 amp hours of battery. It has a Victron system. It shows some wear, but it's such a great little rig.
Ultimately, how deep do we go with some of these repairs before it's diminishing returns? For example, do we replace the flooring because it's ill-fitting?
or do we refinish all the cabinets in a cream or a white?
Or replace this weird outlet.
We're gonna call that custom, Andrew.
Oh, it's custom.
Or we could replace the original slide door. How deep do we take this before we just put it up for sale? Let us know what you would do. We value your input. I've loosened up all the plumbing connections underneath so I can remove the freeze damaged faucet.
This decorative escutcheon didn't come with a faucet. It was bought after the fact, and I had to figure out a way to stick it down, so I'm gonna have to peel it up now.
Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with this repair to the freeze damage. Now I'm going to turn my attention to the shower and see if I can figure out what's going on there.
I really like how it looks.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
I mean, we have to fix that black escutcheon, or do we?
Well,
I don't know. Is that such a big deal? You guys who are super matchy?
So I'm back here at the shower mixing valve, and I think it was user error. I reinstalled something wrong after I replaced the floor. So hopefully I can correct that now, and the shower will be all set. Because I have this all apart right now, I'm gonna take the opportunity to install our new Oxygenics shower head.
Are we gonna test it?
Yes.
Let's see. Oh yeah.
I think the major problem was that I had reinstalled the knob somehow, maybe 180 degrees off from how it should have been. Simple problem.
All right. I'm glad it wasn't frozen.
Yep.
Pipes issues.
Yep, and the new shower head's working great. We just have to retrain the hose. I don't think I'm going to install this holder with the new shower head.
Unless we have to.
Yeah, I think the one that came with the Airstream is probably metal and looks better.
Yeah, all right.
All right, I've just finished up here in the bathroom. We've now got this back together to how it was before the freeze. So now we need to clean the shower and caulk it.
But I think we should wait a couple of days and keep working, because we're going to make dust and dirt and grime and a mess.
Yep.
And we'll get to that. But now it's back to where it should be.
Yep.
Moving on. Woo!
At any rate, we can't caulk it today because it's too wet and it's too cold. So we'll come back to this later. I think I've done everything I can do today. We're losing the light and the temperature's dropping. So I think that's it for now. There's a lot more to do, and we're going to come back again tomorrow. It's a rainy day, and I'm back in the 2006 Airstream, and decided to start on the Cerbo install project. We've been driving around with these parts. We haven't installed them yet because they're not crucial to the function of the Victron system, but I'm gonna take care of that today. What I'm gonna do is wire everything up first before I drill more holes to put the monitor panel up here above the television. Progress is made here. I've got everything connected and everything seems to be registering. So our battery power, the multi-plus, solar, it's all registering here. Now I need to actually run the wires correctly so I can mount it up. All right, I've got the screen mounted over here, an existing hole. I've got the cord run behind and down, and it's connected up where the solar charge controllers and the batteries are. At this point, I've just got to get down in here and organize the wires and get it cleaned up, and we'll be ready to move on.